Hi everyone, welcome to the Game Talk. We just played against Bodø Glimt, first leg at home, 2-2. I said 3-2. I was close, but in all honesty, I didn't expect a game like this. To be honest with you, Luke, I remember when we had to draw the next opponent, for the Conference League, and you wanted Bodø. You wanted Bodø because you said, correct me if I'm wrong, I'm just quoting you, I want the Ajax fans to see what I'm seeing when I follow them in Norway. I want you guys to see what kind of football they play. And I have to be honest, we spoke with Jonas last week as well, and they were a better team. And I feel like, I'm happy with the 2-2. I'm happy we came back. But if you're realistic, if you're really, really looking at the game, they were better. They were better. They were just tired at the end, and that's the off-season thing that comes into play, which is a benefit for us. How did you see that game?
We were shit. Yeah, we were so bad. And I mean, not even with the, context of anything specific. Everything was just, the whole general play was just so slow. It was side to side. And you think of being at home, we should be taking the ball and trying to create chances. All we kept doing was trying to find this big long pass forward to Bobby every time. That's all I ever saw. That's all I ever saw, and it was bad. And kudos to Bodo. They were really good for a team out of season. And I remember we spoke about it a couple of weeks ago, and just before or after Hornets came on, and you said to me, like, do you think it will be an issue? And I was like, 50-50, because whilst they could be they might not be sharp because it's out of season, they'll be rested also, right? And you could see that they may not be Ash. There were sometimes when they didn't look that sharp, but most of their play was really sharp, and we looked like the team that was out of season, to be
Yeah,
honest.
yeah. Do you feel if we go to the starting lineup, right? I mean, of course, it's hindsight, but I didn't have a good feeling when I saw the first 11 from Van het Schip, because I was arguing also before the game when we had the pre-talk about the lack of wingers, right? Was it evident for you as well? He tried Linson on the left in the first half, Akpom as the number 10 close to Broby, and we know we have Berghuis on the right. Did you feel like also because of the lack of width in the attack that we were just too predictable, like you said, only playing to Broby?
Yeah, but well, with the predictions we made before the game, I felt like it was exactly the same lineup. I thought the same players, but I didn't expect Hatter to be at one of the backs. You
Yeah,
know, that's the kind of thing we needed if Forbes was playing against Heerenveen. So with Forbes playing out wide, you'd expect to have someone like Hatter there,
yeah,
not with Linson, who will naturally drift inside, look for space, which is when you want a player to overlap and create the width themselves with the backs. That's what I expected. But we got different players at different times. Like Sosa came on with Forbes, well, just before Forbes, and then you had both of them on the same side again. But it doesn't work. We saw that at Heerenveen. Why why did he put those two on? Okay. We don't know why Wrench went off. Wrench might be gone off because he can only play 45 minutes. Maybe he's not fit enough to play the whole game. We don't know. But um, with the lineup, I saw it as he wants to play Linson on the left. I thought it'd be Wrench overlapping, and I thought he'd want to keep possession more because we're at home, try to dominate the game. But yeah, I didn't expect this kind of game, this performance from us. I thought we'd be fired up. So and what we got was a really poor performance, and luckily we got away with a draw.
yeah. You look. Usually, we've always been critical of the team, of the performance, of the players, some players, etc. How much can you be critical today, specifically on the coach? We've never been very critical of Van het Schip, but don't you think? Like, I have the feeling. I'll be honest. I'm a host, I know, but my feeling is he didn't had the right lineup from the start, in my opinion, and he was trying to repair it all the time during the game. And of course, because of the score, all of a sudden he also tried to push or force certain things, and play more opportunistic. A lot of crosses from the side with Sosa and etc. But apart from the fact that again we did lose, it's 2-2, but it feels like a loss. I don't know if you have the same
Mm.
feeling.
No, absolutely, because now we have to go to Norway on their pitch, their artificial pitch that they're used to. And maybe they'll play a few more friendlies, maybe in between, maybe one or two, I don't know. So they might be even sharper when we play them. With their support, home support makes a huge difference. Look what it did for us today towards the end of the game. We managed to get 2 goals, and it's because as soon as you scored one, everyone was cheering, chanting, everyone was buzzed, everyone was going, and then we got a second.
Yeah.
Uh, but you know, it's just, yeah, it's going to be difficult to go into Norway. It's going to be so difficult, and we're lucky we got a draw. But in terms of Van Schip, we all knew what we was getting. He came in, he helped us, he really saved us. But that's what he's came in to do. He's
Mhm.
not come in to try and help us win silverware. End of the day, we want to win it. Was that anyone's expectations really when he came in? It was to help us solidify, get us to the end of the season, and
Yeah.
then another manager who could really create a better culture.
I understand, Luke. I understand, Luke, and I know that Knut is a very good coach. I'm not trying to say Van Schip is all to blame for this because he has a difficult situation. He has to deal with the squad. Basically, he only got Rijkhoff and Henderson in the January window. He still has the same squad he inherited mid-season. But the only thing I would try to say is, as good as Bodo is, and as good as Knutse is, this is a team that played their first official match, and they look like more in season than we did.
No, for sure. We made them look better than they should have been at this point, right? But the only props I can give to Van Skip is that he changed things when he feels like he needs to change them. And he's not scared to stop them at half time. He made changes when he needed to, and ultimately it worked out to an extent with us. But he's obviously clearly not the long-term solution for us, right? And we spoke about this a few weeks ago, where over the last couple of weeks, where he's not got that big dictator type manager. He's not someone that has a presence about him that you're going to listen to and has an aura about him and things like that. Um, it's also tactics. Look how long he's had with the team now. When he first came in, we were like, oh, maybe when he has a few more months with the team, a few more training sessions, etc. We see progression because we see confidence in some players,
Yeah,
right? Hillinson's got everything to prove, so he's always going to keep trying, but you don't actually see any patterns. You saw Bodø today, the patterns they were playing with. Every time they played out to their backs, it was always one pass to straighten down the middle to someone's feet, who was the back to goal. He'll lay it off to someone else, and boom, they're already attacking, and then they got
yeah,
bodies going forward. They've got patterns that they rehearse all the time. I wonder what patterns that we got. Do they do dot-to-dot drawings at training? That's the only patterns that they ever do. So, you know, I'm very grateful for what Van Skip has done for us, but there has to be a change when it comes to the end of the season. There has to be
yeah,
someone new in, whether or not it's Knutson. I've always said what I think about him. We just need someone with philosophy, someone that's able to take control, someone who's able to have some kind of aura or presence about them where people are going to listen and respect and and able to take these players to the next level. Because ultimately, it's not only we need to create a better, game plan, playing style, and things like that. We also need someone who's going to help these young players develop as well.
yeah.
And Van Skip is a great person. Seems like a great person, great friend, but that's what he seems like, everyone's friend, not the manager. And
Yeah, that's the vibe he gives, basically, or at least
very
we see,
nice.
right?
Yeah.
From the outside. Let me ask you another question. You already touched upon it. Look, the good thing about, despite the performance today, is that it's a reset. We're playing from scratch again next week because 2-2 is 0-0, basically. It's the same, doesn't matter. So, but we know it's a difficult game to play up there. We know it's artificial grass. We know it's a kind of a congested stadium, a bit smaller, etc., colder. But still, it's football. Everything can happen. You saw, like today, I already thought we're losing the game. I never expected us to come back like this, right? So
Mhm.
there is still hope for us to make it through, right?
Absolutely. I think, it's like we talk about the PSV game. You play for the occasion, and hopefully this will be another one of the times where the players play for the occasion. It's not just a game in Norway. It's going to be out of our comfort zone. It's going to be in their comfort zone with their fans, right? But we're going to have one of those performances where we don't play the way that we think that we want with Ajax, right? We can't go there and play this amazing one touch, two touch football that we've seen over the years. We'll have to go there, and maybe we'll have to play counter attacking. Maybe we'll have to play this long ball, Forbes running in behind, probably running in behind, that we seem to love today, that we saw countless times, right? It's the only thing that I see us do at the moment is play it long to Bobby, and that's fine because he can hold it, and we've seen he can make those runs. But he can easily matter the game. You saw how quick their goalkeeper was off the line to collect every single one, or every 5 passes you collect 3 of them, right?
Yeah.
So maybe that's the kind of thing we'll need to do there, because if it's cold and if it's been snowing or if it's been raining or whatever weather it is, it means the artificial turf will be wet, and it'll be like the ball will hit it and it will go quicker. It will skid across the surface. So maybe that we can use that to our benefit if we're playing long balls to Forbes, for example, for him to run onto, to pass into his space so he can run.
Yeah.
Other than that, it's going to be very, very difficult.
All right. A couple of mentions on players. Maybe you want to mention a couple of players. Also, maybe the players that came in, like from the Boma, or
I want
like,
to
maybe.
highlight Wrench. I
Mm-hmm.
thought I was very surprised to see him at centre back,
Mm-hmm.
but in that first half, and at times in that first half, and he came off in the second. But in that first half, he was playing very good passes straight to Akpom. Yeah, straight to players' feet. That was going and breaking the defensive structure of their team, and was able to get him behind a few times. I thought Hato did very well for someone who doesn't play left back a lot. He did what he needed to do. Um,
Do you blame him a
and
little bit for that first goal? That he didn't cover the short end of the shot?
it's yes and no. It's difficult because any other player tries to shoot at the far post.
Yeah.
This one time he so happens to shoot at the near post, and
Yeah.
he's come across too far. Everyone else shoots at the far post because they open their body up and they hit it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And he's obviously left-footed because he's tried to strike it. It's a clever finish, and I think he was just unlucky because who else is going to do that? Do you know what I
Mhm.
mean? So, but he did his job. I think Henderson doesn't do anything crazy anyway. He just tries to control things. Akpom was disappointing. I felt like he got in good positions, but tries too much. Wants an extra touch, just not confident in his left foot. In the second half, he
Yeah.
received the ball from Bobby on his
Yeah.
left, just hit it across goal. I'd rather you hit it and miss than lose the ball
Sure.
like he did and just not have anything, because you never know. Um,
But do you understand? Do you understand the switch he made in the from first half to second half, especially the Linson Ekpom change? Linson was playing left side first half, then in the second half he went to the middle. Akpom was playing on the left. Of course, coming in the box, right, close to Brobbey. But I feel like Akpom's performance in the first half was slightly better than when he was moved to the left. He felt very
for, sh-
uncomfortable there.
for sure, there's two perceptions I want to highlight on this. One
Yeah.
is Papi's opinion, and fair play to him. He said Linson needs to be in the middle, and he's correct. I believe that's his best position, but for two reasons. One, because he does allow a rotation with Berghaus that everyone's seen. It's a good relationship. But also, when he's in the middle, he contributes defensively in the middle. And I think if Akpom plays in the middle, he plays slightly like a second striker, really high, wants to go and beat it, just play off Bobby, and that's fine. And I think if you can manage that against specific opposition, then it's no problem. But when you've got a team like Bodø that play very quick football, have a midfield three that know each other so well, and they want bodies going forward, you have to have another midfielder. So, it was very worrying. Yeah, I know a lot of people in the live talk and the comments said, oh, with Taylor and with Aquaman midfield, there's no defensive capabilities, absolutely. But when Linson comes in, at least he's a body that comes into the middle,
Mhm.
and he can offer some kind of defensive work. And I'm not saying Akpom doesn't,. He's just not a midfielder. Um, oh, and also Van der Bowman, incredible when he came on. Absolutely, really, really good. You saw the urgency. He looked like he was itching to get his teeth into it as well. Great penalty. And his passes, his eye for a pass was very, very good because the urgency was there. Obviously, my only concern would be him and Henderson playing together. That's very slow. It's very slow in terms of the legs. Can they get up and down as quick? Are they able to, So we'll have to wait and see. There might be a great, great partnership that we see going forward. We just need to see.
All right. Any other thing you want to say before I go to the comments?
Um,
Anything?
Goya, I think Goya was quite unlucky towards the
Yeah.
end of the game.
Hmm.
I feel like he's still building on his appearances. It's like his third start. Well, no, maybe. So he's still building,
Something like that. Yeah.
something like that. So most of the time he's doing very well. I feel like he's a bit risky when he comes out with the ball. but he looks like he's able to. And I think the last one, maybe he was tired mentally because he's still young, maybe he's still getting used to it, and everyone makes mistakes. He's very young, so it was his fault. But
Yeah.
it's one of those mistake ones, you know. But otherwise, I felt like he had an okay game again. Like, there's nothing that's telling me that he should be dropped as of yet.
Yeah.
Because he's significantly doing better than Guy would on the right.
You don't blame him too much for that goal, even though it was his fault. Do you feel
Yeah,
also Sutalo shouldn't have given the ball to him? Or it's mostly Hoyer?
it's mostly Hoyer, because if you're in that situation, why is your first of all, Sutalo's passing to him and he's not even ready for the ball, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then two, he's obviously tried to make something out of nothing anyway, and you know you shouldn't do that around your own penalty box. So it's more Hoyer. But I mean, Sutalo's not been. He's had a couple of good games and he's been very disappointing anyway. The last couple, you know, for example, with the second goal that he scored, I know Hato come across and he tried to make a block and then it bounced off and it was very unlucky. But then you see Sutalo just turning around like this. He doesn't know where the ball's gone. And I'm like, the amount of times I see Sutalo do that, not know where the ball's gone, you know. And yeah, he had that unlucky ricochet against Heron where it come off his leg and they tapped it in and things like that. But on top of luck, he's not showing a lot that makes us think, wow. He shows it one game and then doesn't the next game. But then the next game he does it, and the next game he
Not
doesn't.
consistent yet. Yeah, exactly.
You know, so yeah.
Look,
And
yeah. Go ahead.
I think Van der Bowman can show that obviously he can play with Henderson. So hopefully going forward he'll start ahead of Taylor. Because
do you think this is a start of something that Van der Boma will get more and more minutes, and Taylor should be maybe slightly worried about his position on the field?
Taylor should have been worried 2 years ago, right? So
That's harsh.
I know I put Taylor in the team, in the lineup, but that was because of numbers. Like Van der Bowman hasn't played the games since he come back, and etc. etc. In terms of quality, we all know what Van der Bowman can offer, and it's just hopefully he can maintain a good relationship with Henderson.
You're also hoping down the stretch in a couple of weeks. You're also hoping for Mansverk to see him more in the first team as well, right?
Yeah, I've heard good things about him, so hopefully he can. I mean, if they pick him over Van der Bowman, I don't think he will. I think hopefully he gets minutes coming on and showing what he can do, and maybe we get a strong midfield 3 players that we're able to rotate between when we need to.
Yeah. I'm going through the comments. If anyone has a question for Luke, let me know as well, guys. I'm going through them right now. Again, it's 2-2. We didn't lose. We're of course disappointed about the game, but let's go through the comments. I'm going with Brian first. Guys, this was really bad. Makes me so sad. What a season, never again. We hope the same, man. Eric is saying, if nothing else, this team is entertaining. Well, that's at least looking at it from a positive point of view. Anwang is saying, I almost smashed my TV when we conceded the first goal. Yeah, I can imagine the frustration. Indrek is saying, Jesus Christ, we're bad. Bodø was better for 90 minutes. Javid is saying, I already smashed 2 TVs thanks to Ajax. First time it was Milan lost at the Champions League. Which Champions League game was that? Do you mean the 2003 one, 4-1 quarterfinal? Second time it was during the cup away match with Utrecht when we conceded 5. Ooh, all right, man. You should be more careful with the TVs, to be honest. Daniel is saying that first goal of Bodø really showed those guys know each other's lines. Yeah, it's very structured, the way they play, always with triangles, always looking for... you know what I've noticed as well? They take their time when they have the ball. They don't rush in passing or anything. If they don't see anything, they make movements or they dribble. Wait, when you see it, they give the ball. That's something I've never seen Ajax do in a long time, like these kind of plays.
But it's a type of positional play where you're trying to dominate space by moving opposition. And they know that we're going to... Henderson's a big presser. He jumps on the next man. As soon as Henderson goes up to press the ball, Henderson will be straight on that man. So all then that player has to do is move 3 steps to the left, for example. Henderson will follow and it creates a gap. It's just a positional play thing. And I think that the only reason that it works for them is because they've done it so often together successfully, in my opinion. They've lost a couple of players. They've added a couple of players. They haven't had to go through insane, destroying transfer
You
windows
know,
where
you know,
4 players have left. You know,
you know what the worst thing is as well. I mean, I'm not very familiar with the players, but the ruling of the UEFA as well. They signed a couple of players, but they can maximum only sign 3 for the Conference League.
register.
You
Yeah,
know, so they didn't
new
even sign
players.
all
Yeah,
their players also to the team to play in
yeah,
European matches, apart from
yeah.
being off season, everything like that. You know, if you
I
think
think
about it
it's
again, I mean, all right. We have a Bodø fan right here. Congratulations, by the way, with the game today. Never a penalty, unfortunately, with the ref today, but we'll win at home. Ooh, I don't think I agree. I don't think anyone agrees with that. That was a clear penalty, to be honest.
yeah. I also think though the referee was also not that good, regardless of the penalty. I feel like a lot of the times he let things go when they shouldn't, and then gave silly things for like the one where Bobby was one on one with the keeper, and he tried to flick the ball away, got
Yeah,
nowhere near the keeper, but he went down holding his hand, and I'm just like,
true,
come on,
true.
man.
Yeah, yeah, I agree. Progressive was saying too much ups and downs this evening, guys. What a match. Home 0-2 together, last minute 2-2. This season is killing me. Oh, man.
Honestly.
Javid is saying the bright spot of this match, Taylor got lost from the pitch. I was cheating that more than our 2-2. Ooh, that's harsh. Don't you think it was harsh from the fans as well? I mean, you know
I
how
want
the
to
Ajax
just,
fans are, right? They're
I just want to
reacting to it. Yeah,
Yeah, I just want to highlight something. I hope that when he got subbed, they wasn't cheering that he was going off. I hope they were cheering that Van der Bomen was coming on. Because what happened was when the board went up and I see him jogging off, I heard a big cheer. Then it went a little bit silent and quieter, and then Van der Bomen come on. And I really hope that they don't do that whole start booing him and things like that. Like I hopefully the Ajax fans are better than that, and I think they are.
I
But
also question. I also question whether that's really towards Taylor or that's more like, Ajax has been Ajax fans have been like in the past also very much doing these kind of things to also give a statement or a message to the coaching staff, like, hey, it's about time. It's about time you did this or something like that.
I understand, and I'm not trying to defend Taylor because he's been very, very poor last couple of
Mhm.
seasons, but also
It's not nice for
it,
him, of course. I understand.
but also like in a crucial development part in his career, he's had 2 seasons basically written off, just like everyone else has. Everyone else that's young, where you've not had stability, you've not had a coach like, you know, because the reality is if Ten Hag comes in, stays, sorry, if he stays, then the reality is that Gravenberch goes, Taylor then comes in and tries to make that position his own. That's a logical thing, right? But then Ten Hag goes, everyone goes, you lose all these players. You have Schroeder, you then get Heitinger, you then get Stein, and then you get Mislintat, and then Mislintat leaves. There's no stability. There's nothing there. So, in fairness, like in a fair way to him, you'd expect to have a lot more stability to be able to become a better player, better surroundings around you, players like Henderson around you, but also you kind of need to have some talent about you. And it seems like that he has no game intelligence half the time. So I don't want to be too harsh on him,
And
but
sometimes some players need maybe a step back, right, to make 2 steps forward. I mean, we don't know. Maybe it will help him
yeah,
towards his development. We'll see how it unfolds. Jules is saying, why are there so many Ajaxiders so spoiled? I mean, I get it. My hometown club is bad since, I don't know, the early 2000s. The fans don't care and support no matter what. Ajax needs this right now. I don't know, Jules, exactly why you're saying that. Do you feel the Ajax fans are spoiled? I mean, if I look at today, we're playing Conference League. If you ask Ajax fans 2 years ago, they would laugh at the Conference League, but there was support from the stadium. Everybody was behind their team. The atmosphere
mm,
was great. So maybe you can elaborate a little bit what you mean by it. Sorry, you wanted to say something quickly?
maybe it was just, you go from a team in like 18, 19, etc., and then you have this. So you know you might be it might be nice that you were spoiled as a fan for a while, and
Mhm.
unfortunately, sometimes some fans of all clubs struggle to grasp when when you have to rebuild. Some people can't accept it, just like every other team. So maybe that's what he's trying to say.
Kasia is saying, I wonder if Van Skip will finally be brave enough to leave Taylor on the bench in upcoming games.
I think so.
Yeah, I think Van der Bomen will get more playing time going forward if he stays healthy. So I cannot imagine him benching Henderson. So yeah, we'll see. we'll see how it goes. Aiden is saying, what a difference Van de Bomen for Taylor makes, just puts into perspective how bad Taylor truly has been playing. Look, I only want to say this, though. I totally agree, and I fully understand. We've been critical on the channel multiple times, a lot of people, me included, on Taylor. But I don't feel like everything that's happening to Ajax is because of Taylor. I mean, we have to be careful with that as well. Of course, he's part of the 11, but there's more wrong with this team, to be honest, in my opinion. All right.
I agree.
Yeah, a lot of people like saying Bronco better than Taylor any day of the week. Ducky Momo is saying, is Kenneth Taylor a bad player? United fan here, and I like him at the start. Maybe you can react quickly on this one.
Bad is harsh. He's not performing well, and he hasn't done for a long time. I don't know what qualities he has. You don't really see it a lot. I feel like it's made a scapegoat a lot, but also doesn't help himself with his performances. So, you know, like I said, maybe in a better, more structured team, stable team, maybe he shows some other bits that are good. But at the moment, yeah, not seeing anything.
Danny doesn't agree. They were better? No, they weren't.
They were
okay.
Good.
All right. He said we played bad or shit, but they did as well. I don't fully agree with that, Danny, but it's your opinion, of course. It's all good. Tony O is saying it's getting worse and worse every game. It seems that way. It seems like, but I also think it's partly because Van het Schip is trying to complicate things right now. Because of Bergwijn, it seems like Bergwijn left, you know, starting 11, and Van het Schip is starting to maybe, I mean, 1-on-1 you can change him with Forbes. Forbes haven't been performing against Heerenveen, so because he didn't perform against Heerenveen today, he started thinking about something else. But then you're changing a lot of things in the team, you know, and then you see that there's no chemistry anymore whatsoever.
Yeah, for sure, because this is not what they've worked towards. You spend all this time trying to work with a specific lineup so they can they gel together. But you know, I can understand why you play Hillinson on the left. If you take away the fullbacks and everything like that, if you've got a 10 like Akpom that wants to score goals, and you've got Bobby, it makes sense to have two quote unquote creative wide players to come inside, right, to try and get an assist. Unfortunately, Hillinson's not the same as Berghaus, so it's not gonna work the same. But I can see the logic behind that. What I don't see the logic behind is the choice of having Hato behind Hillinson, who goes inside, and Hato goes inside, and then against Heerenveen, you have Sosa behind Forbes, who they both want to stay wide.
Different. It doesn't
make sense to me.
Yeah,
no
exactly. I agree with you.
It doesn't make sense.
I agree with you. There's no real thought, you know, process behind or idea, because they're different. Exactly. That's what you're saying. All right. So going back to the comments, I will go a bit quicker now. If you want to react to one, just let me know. All right.
Sure.
Yeah. So Simon is saying lucky to come away with a draw. Roy is saying Branco and Henderson midfield from now on. Indirect with a nice comment. We're out of season for most of the season. This is nice. Roy has an interesting view. Play Rijkel from the left until Bergwijn is back, or Amo or Gots. Yeah, but Amo and Gots are not fit yet, right?
Gots has just gone back to training, right?
Yeah, but he's still not fully training or doing everything yet, so it's going to take some time. Seb is saying Van de Bomen made a difference. Taylor should never start again, ever. Also, why about Fayzed Jim not getting any minutes? Maybe it will still happen. We'll see. Roy is saying, I also don't get why Tahirovic isn't ahead of Taylor in the pecking order. Maybe it has to do with what you said earlier before the game started, Luc. You touched upon that, whether the combination Henderson-Tahirovic works. You were doubting about that. Maybe that's it.
It just depends on the players you have around, isn't it? So
yeah. Simon, why is Kaplan not playing? I think purely precaution, to be honest. He will get his minutes if just we want to be cautious that he doesn't get injured again. Only for the week, we're only getting worse because our genius manager feels the need to try different things in the most important part of the terrible season. Now, the single thought went into the starting lineup. Or maybe he did think it. Maybe he maybe he was overthinking. That's what I'm saying. I think he has to stick with the basics. What works in the past, try to keep it as much as possible the same. And for like Bergwijn or something that you're trying to change, don't overcomplicate. Try to find one player that fits and makes the team better, you know, there. And if Forbes doesn't work, maybe Rijkhoff, like Roy said earlier, or something. So I don't feel you have to change everything. So that's clearly where I feel like it's going wrong right now. Yeah, Simon is saying the manager needs to play with a stable formation. Daniel Fields, as I'm living on Curacao, I used Fanily, and I now found this Ajax-sided pub, which is just perfect. Oh, happy for you, Daniel. And I'm also happy for you that you live in Curacao. That's nice. Juan, it's not the squad. Bodo has less quality in the team than we have. Tactics and the plan are 80% of the road to a result nowadays. Yeah.
Yeah, I can see the point.
Yeah. He's also adding, I'm not saying we have a good team, but it's not any worse than AZ, Bodo, or Twente. And again, he's adding, we're severely underperforming with the players that we have. Yeah. If you think about it, we're happy, of course, because we know where we're coming from with Stijn, right? We were 18th in the league, and we picked up a lot of results, especially in the league. We won, but still, we concede every game. I think we have a record of goals conceded in the history of Ajax right now this season.
Yeah.
So there are concerns, of course. Nickname is saying Ajax made the game plan secondary to the players at their disposal. Bodo does the exact opposite. Makes you think, given how horny we are for 4-3-3. Sorry, I had to read that twice. All right. Thank you. What else do we have? Yeah, Papimento is saying about the game in Norway, anything can happen. So we believe. We believe. And Daniel is saying, Van der Bomen completely changed the game. Our own football version of Tom Brady, Mahomes. That's funny.
Peyton Manning, bro. Peyton Manning.
That's quite funny, actually. Okay, going through the comments. We still have a lot of... Christian is saying, a lot of people saying the same, basically. For me, it's clear now Van der Bomen for Taylor. Okay, I have a question for you as well from Christian. He's saying, Luke, what percentage will you give them for going through to the next round? Give them Ajax or give them Bodo? Maybe you can give them both.
I'll give it a ratio. I think it's 60-40 for Bodo to go through. I think the home advantage is key. So I'll give 60% for them, 40% for us. Because I feel like if we play for the occasion and we show up like we showed up tonight in the last 10 minutes, then, anything could happen.
Steve is saying Knudsen as a coach now. Bodo's players are average, but the system is good. I mean, you've always said it, right?
I've told you guys. You could clip it, you could post it, you could write it, take a picture, screenshot it, you could do anything. I said Knudsen is the guy. It's just the system. The system, how quick they go forward, bodies going forward. It just works. It just works. Works. And this is why I was so excited to get him in Europa League so people can see it.
Jermaine is saying, I don't think Bodo was better for 90 minutes. We had the ball the most, just a few mistakes, and they score. I understand why you're saying that. The only thing I would say to that is when they were in the lead, they became a little bit more conservative and they were just defending a little bit more. So they gave the ball basically to Ajax. That's my opinion. And also towards the end, especially second half, you can see that they were just tired. They couldn't. And even though they had chances to finish and make it 3-0, don't forget. I think there was a chance. This guy, he gave it to the right, pass right. Otherwise, it was done.
Yeah.
I mean, And by the way, Broby also had a huge chance with the header. But all right. Puntje. Sobbing with my friends again. Honestly, it's getting painful lately. I feel for you, man. We all feel for each other. Pelle back here as well. Luke's an almost offensively great commentator, almost like he's a coach of some sorts. Hey,
he's trying to make up for saying that British people are ugly, basically.
Cowper is saying, I'm a PSV fan, and even I would say it's a clear penalty and clear red for not attempting to win the ball. Thank you for that. Thank you for being honest. We appreciate that. There are some PSV fans that are nice. I appreciate that.
They're only nice because they're top.
Luke, what did you think about Berghuis? I feel like he was poor all evening, but when it counted, he made a difference. For me, it hurts me to see him with a captain's badge being an ex-Feyenoord star. How do you feel?
I have to give props to Papi on this one again. He mentioned, we all know Lindson's relationship with Berghuis, allowing runners around him, and he was spot on today. And you know, he is correct, and we all kind of know he's correct. Prior, because we've seen it. Um, when he doesn't have runners, he doesn't do a lot because he likes receiving the ball really, really wide. He can, uh, he can cross the ball. But he doesn't do anything else other than that. And he really trusts his left foot a lot, like so much. I've never seen him shoot on his right. So, but it's disappointing because he just disappears for a lot of the game, basically. But he's also our most creative player. So at least if he performs when you need him to in the certain moments of the game, um, I don't really mind if he disappears for some of the game. It's like Mesut Ozil a few years ago, just would come up with that pass and then there's a goal. So if he can get an assist or score goals in important moments like he did today, then if he disappears, then so be it. But hopefully with Linson, if he stays in the middle, he could then just rotate and allow Berghaus, because he's been in good form recently, Berghaus. So and it suddenly all changes when there's no Linson in the middle. So
yeah, I have to rush through the comments, guys. We're we're very much over time. Nick Doener is saying, "What a disgrace! They were playing with us with a tiki taka." Look, I don't know if you had a chance, Nick Doener, to watch our live stream last week with Jonas, and he said something that stuck with me. He said Bodo was able in recent years to make the best teams in Norway, but even Roma and look like average teams. Like if they click, they can make anything look like average teams. And look, I don't agree that they made us look average today. I think we have our own issues as well. And I don't think this is the best version of Bodo. Maybe I'm wrong, Luke, today. They can play even
it's
better,
not the
right?
best. It's not the best I've seen, but I can't
Yeah.
say that I've watched more than Pella, for example. So
Yeah.
I've caught a handful of games.
Nickname is happy that you is happy for you as well. Like you must happy your beard is safe.
So am
Yeah,
I.
so
I'll be
no hat trick
single.
for Taylor, right? So all right. And then going with Rick from Australia. First game I've managed to see in a while. Unfortunately, it looks like we're struggling with our defensive lines. Yeah, a lot of people saying the defensive lines, Capo as well. It's a defensive issue. That's clear. Steve is saying Berghuis, Soutalo, and Taylor were poor. Akpom is a sub at best. And I thought that Hoyer played well until his mistake. Yeah, I agree. Steve also adding Rome as a counter team that gives the opponent the ball with a bit of press. They crumble. Yeah. And then Casilla is quoting from the Schip. I don't believe the pressing today was that bad.
No, I just want to comment on this really quickly.
Which one?
I understand this one here, this one right now.
Okay. Yeah.
I understand. I understand this comment. I understand what Van Skip is trying to say, because it's not just about when you press, you don't just win the ball. It's about the turnover of the ball. So even if you press them and they go long, and it goes out of play, or it goes straight back to your team, so you're back in possession, that's a good press, right? It doesn't always lead to winning the ball really high and scoring a goal. That's just what Liverpool did, and everyone sees that as the press, right? If you can force the team to turn the ball over to you by trying to play a long pass when you press the goalkeeper and things like that, for me, that's a successful press at that moment. However, how often we did that today? Not that much. So to an extent, I can see what he's saying, that sometimes when we pressed, we managed to turn the ball over and receive the ball back. But the amount of times we gave it back to them because we were poor, the ratio was that for every 10 times we pressed, maybe we turned the ball over like 3 times or something like that, or 4 times. So the moments where we did it, it looked good. But the amount of times it happens is not good. So I can understand both the comment and Van Sip's comment. So,
all right, I have a final question for you, right? If you're a fan of Schip, I know we're playing in the weekend, we're playing a game in the league, and then next week we have to go to Norway. Specifically, next week, what would you do differently compared to today? What would you instruct the players, or maybe tactically, or maybe starting 11 player selection? What would be your, like advice to make it work and maybe, have a chance to win there?
that you need to play for the occasion. It's going to be hard because their fans are there. Their fans are loud. They're the league champions in Norway. They haven't seen any any competitive games in a couple of months, so they're itching for some competition, right? And they want to be ready for the league coming around. I think we need to go out and just put it all on the line. If we go there and we lose 2-0 or 2-1, but we know that we've played really well and they were just better, but we've played really quick and we've played, and because the Astro is going to be wet because it's either icy and they've managed to do it, or it's cold, or it's been raining or something like that. It's going to be difficult, but and the ground's going to be wet. So can we try and play quick football? When we play those long passes, can we play them just so they go in front of our players to run onto? We'll have to put it all on the line and just go there and just try to win, because it's 2-2 now. We can't hold on to a lead. There is no lead to hold on to. So we have to go there and get a lead. And the only way we could do that is by going there and going for it. And if we lose 2-1, 2-0, 3-0, and so be it, as long as we know that we've gone there and tried to do things positively, as opposed to just trying to take a draw into penalties and things like that.
What would you change? One thing. If there's one thing you would change compared to today, what would it be?
This is ironic. Hato at left back, Forbes left wing, because of his runs. So what we said about having Sosa and Forbes on the same side, and then Hato and Hinson, I would keep Hinson in the middle if he's fit. Obviously, we don't know what will happen until then. But if we've got the same players today, Forbes on the left, purely because I feel like you could play the balls skidding on the ground, it'd be wetter, so they'll be all colder, and it'll be artificial grass, so it pings a bit nicer than there's on just normal grass. And you're able to play, but Hato can sit just inside, and then Forbes can have the wing, and then you can.
So you did like the pairing of Wrench and Sutalo. In the center.
I did, because I feel like Wrench was really inclined to play those passes straight down the middle.
Okay.
But even if Hato stays in the middle, Wrench can still do that inside job on the left.
Oh,
so it's like, what do you need more? Do you want Hato to stop their counters on the left, on the right, maybe on the right side, or would you rather have Wrench there, because they both could do it? But we need to. I think that's a day where we need to have some pace. Then we can look at the long ball, but not today.
And probably from the Bowman to play more.
Yeah, I would start him
if it's possible.
All
right,
if he's able to, yeah.
Yeah, if he's able to. Two final comments that I want to share. Darth Sidious is saying Bodø is like a light version of Ajax. Just like Ajax, they go through a cycle of selling their best players and rebuilding everything. This time, however, they managed to keep their best player, Grombeck. All right. I thought Berg was the best player, but okay. Thank you for that. Steve is saying AstroTurf in the Arctic. It's going to be pretty tough for Ajax next week. 100%.
It's the northern part of Norway as well. It's like
true.
True. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, and Capo is saying it's time to check what Kaplan can offer in the defense. Hopefully by then, maybe we'll see him play a couple of minutes. So we'll see. All right, thank you guys. Thank you so much. 2-2. Let's be happy that we didn't lose at the end, but we still have a lot of work to do, and let's hope Van der Schip gets it together before next week. Have a nice evening, guys, or wherever you are, and see you soon. Take care.
Take care.